So welcome back. This is the second part of lesson 3. We will be talking now about Karl Marx, Leon Trotsky, and Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. The origins of socialism and communism, first of all. Our modern ideas of socialism and communism come from a written work produced by Karl Marx and his friend Friedrich Engels. This work was titled as The Communist Manifesto, published in 1848. And these ideas, published in this book, were implemented later on in Russia by Vladimir Ilyich Lenin and his followers, the so-called Bolsheviks. Now, Marx's work, Marx's manifesto, called for a complete overhaul of capitalist systems of the time. It advocated for the working class, the so-called proletariat, to rise up against the aristocracy and the other elites, the bourgeoisie, followed by the implementation of a new society where everyone was equal. So he thought that the capitalist society will change and the working class will create a new society where everybody is worth the same. Now, Karl Heinrich Marx was a German philosopher, economist, historian, political theorist, journalist, and socialist revolutionary. He was born in Trier, Germany, and he studied law and philosophy at university. Now, according to Marx's theories, human societies develop through class conflict. Now, in capitalism, this shows itself in the conflict between the ruling classes that control the means of production and the working classes that enable these means by selling their labor power in return for wages. So let's understand that. It's not that difficult as it sounds first. So Marx thought that human societies always develop. They become better and better and better. Now, there is no development unless there is class conflict. Classes will clash. Okay? And in the capitalist society, that was the society of Germany at that time. So in capitalism, there are two classes represented. Okay? One is the ruling class, and the other one is the working class. Now, the ruling class controls the money and the means of production, but they don't work. The working class controls the labor power. They sell their work to the ruling class, and this is going to create conflict. Now, Marx predicted that capitalism produced internal tensions. Okay, because of this conflict, there is going to be tension inside the system. Okay, that would lead to its self-destruction and replacement by a new system known as socialism. He believed that eventually the working class will create a classless communist society. He believed that capitalism, although it is natural, it is a natural development of a society, it will self-destruct itself. All right? It will come to an end, and the working class will take over and create a classless, ideal, basically, socialist communist society. Marx thought that capitalism, although it is bad in many ways, it is important for society to develop. He believed that socialism can only be created after a strong capitalistic society which naturally destroys itself. So there is no socialist society without this period of capitalism. Now, Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, or better known Vladimir Lenin, was a Russian revolutionary, a politician, and political theorist. Now, he served as head of the government of Soviet Russia and later on the Soviet Union. This is between 1917 up to 24 until his very early death. He died quite young. Under his administration, Russia and then the wider Soviet Union became a one-party communist state governed by the Russian Communist Party. Now, ideologically, he was a communist. He developed a variant, so a different kind of Marxism known as Leninism. He based his ideas on Marxism, but he changed it slightly to create his own version of socialism. His brother, Alexander Ulyanov, plotted to assassinate the Russian Tsar, Alexander III, and he was executed, which drove the 17-year-old Vladimir even more to revolutionary socialism. Let's understand that before the 20th century, Russia was a very feudal society based on land, loads of very powerful and very rich people, the Tsar ruling the country with a very, very heavy hand. People were starving. The distribution of wealth was totally wrong. The country was way too huge. The power was in one hand, and a lot of people were starving most of the time in Russia. So a lot of people were very unhappy about this centralized power. And towards the end of the 19th century, loads of protests started against this Tsarist government. Now, we understand that Vladimir Ilyich Lenin's brother was he was executed for the assassination attempt. Now, this drove Vladimir Ilyich Lenin to become more revolutionary. Now, he was very young, he participated in many protests against the Tsarist government, and as a consequence, he was even expelled from university. Now, although the first Russian Revolution in 1905 failed to topple the Tsar, Lenin thought that the World War would create a new world order. It will change everything. There came the February Revolution in 1917, which ousted the Tsar, and it created a provisional government, but still the working class was unhappy with the way things were going, and another revolution started in October, in which the Bolsheviks overthrew the new regime and they created their socialist system, which was the beginning of the Soviet Union. Now, Leon Trotsky, or his birth name Lev Davidovich Bronstein, was a Russian revolutionary, a political theorist, and a politician. Now, Trotsky joined the Bolshevik Party a few weeks before the October Revolution and became one of the leaders of the party immediately. Now, he was involved also in the Brest-Litovsk negotiations with Germany when Russia pulled out of the World War. Trotsky became more prominent, more powerful from March 1918 to January 25 as the leader of the Red Army in the post of the Commissar for Military and Naval Affairs. Trotsky was a vital leading figure in the Red Victory in the Russian Civil War. And we can see these are the last years of Lenin's life. He was a faithful follower of Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. Now, in his final years of leadership, Lenin expressed his wish that the Communist Party would make Trotsky the leader after him. However, in the meantime, Joseph Stalin already consolidated his power. Stalin was very heavy-handed and very, very ambitious. Trotsky was removed from his positions and eventually expelled from the Soviet Union in February 1929. He spent the rest of his life in exile in Turkey, France, Norway, and Mexico. Stalin didn't want him in the country at all. He continued to speak out against the Stalinist regime and the increasingly powerful fascism in Germany and Spain. So, of course, he was assassinated by Stalin's agents in Mexico City in 1940. All right, so we understood the most important ideas of the time around the World War, socialism and communism. Your homework, I would like you to do the following. Please make notes from the slides, write down and learn the important vocabulary: capitalism, socialism, communism. And please do a research about Kemal Atatürk into your copybook. You can even make a PowerPoint presentation, something similar that I made here in this video. Check background information, where he was born, his education, main events in his military career, his accomplishments to create modern Turkey, this modernization, focus on secularism, republicanism, nationalism. I don't want to explain these words. And there you go, the address. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.